So welcome guys back to another video in the channel. We're doing another episode of Arsenal Transfer News Daily. Today we are going to be talking about the fact that Isco's deal is edging closer, as we could be sending Dani Ceballos back to Real Madrid, as Ryan Christie from Celtic is linked, former Kieran Tierney's teammate. And also we'll be looking at the fact that Rob Holding is on the verge of signing a new long-term contract with Arsenal. First bit of news revolves around Isco, and apparently he is edging closer to signing to Arsenal. He has been interested in a move to Arsenal because it's a club, one of the only clubs that really have been in for him. He wanted to stay in Spain at first, and he wanted to stay with Sevilla, but they're not putting any bids in. They're not showing any real interest in the player. Juventus were also linked with the player. They were linked with Mesut Ozil as well as Isco to sign a creative player, like a number 10 sort of player. They were linked with him as well, but Juventus haven't really made a move either, because Isco made a desire to play in the Champions League. But again, it's going to be very hard to do so, to find a club playing in the Champions League that wants you, because Isco hasn't played a lot of minutes this season, and he hasn't been at his best, like his 2015 2016 sort of best. So not really any Champions League clubs want him. So the next step down is the Europa League, where Arsenal are at the moment, and they are showing a lot of interest. And reports today are suggesting a deal is edging closer for Isco. I've said this many times as an opinion. I would take it for 6 months. I wouldn't take a permanent deal, just for the fact that his wages will be a lot. And it's just one of those, because if he flops, then you just have another old washed up player on your books, which you just don't need. We have enough of those as it is, and we are trying to get rid of them. Sokratis, we'll look at later, is edging closer to an exit. Kolasinac has already left, so we don't need another one of those. And I think Isco could be 6 months. It could give him enough chance to show his experience, give help to the likes of Emil Smith-Rowe or any other player we bring in, let's say like a Buendia. So I think Isco is a good opportunity for 6 months. Some people are saying they wouldn't take Isco for 6 months. I would definitely take Isco for 6 months as like a stopgap. This is something Robbie was saying as well on AFTV. Just take him on a 6 months loan, and then you go and sign a top cam or an attacking midfielder in the summer, where a lot of our wage book is cleared. We could have a lot more money if we do obviously qualify for the Champions League, and maybe via winning the Europa League or getting into the top 4. Either way, getting into Champions League is a big deal, and hopefully someone who has a lot of experience at the top level could do good for us. And if we do terminate the loan deal of Ceballos, bring in Isco for 6 months for the remainder of this 6 months, I think it could be a really good deal. I don't know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, as a deal for Isco edges closer for a 6 month loan deal. Bit of news is on Rob Holding, as Arsenal reportedly close to agreeing a new long-term contract with Rob Holding, according to a report from the Telegraph. Holding has had an interesting time during Mikel Arteta's tenure. It appeared that he was on his way out of the Emirates on loan in the summer. TalkSport reported that Newcastle was set to announce a deal for Holding. However, the 25-year-old ultimately stayed because of an injury crisis we had at centre-back at the start of the season, and has been a regular fixture for the Gunners this season. He has started 12 times in the Premier League this season, with one further appearance coming from the bench, and it appears that Arsenal are now ready to tie him down to a new deal. And according to the Telegraph, the £2 million centre-back is set to sign a new long-term contract. It is suggested that the agreement and the hopes of the Premier League rivals will have been looking to take him on loan. Holding, who now earns 25 grand a week according to Sport Track, is arguably a player who's not yet managed to silence all critics and doubters. However, he does deserve credit for the way he has responded since returning from a long-term injury. He has produced some good performances and some bad performances, and his partnership with Gabriel and lately with Marie has been quite good and could develop into something good. But for me, Rob Holding, now I'm sort of half on this one. I think we do need centre-backs that will do a job for us as a backup. I don't think Rob Holding is someone who will ever be, in Arsenal history, a starter, and I don't think he qualifies to be. And I do think Arsenal will look at a centre-back next to partner Gabriel. Obviously, we've got Saliba, but we've got that situation. So I think Arsenal will look in the market for a centre-back. But Rob Holding as a backup and to even start, I don't think he's the worst option. But tying him down to a new deal when he has like 2.5 years left, I'm not too sure, because I think in the summer we could get 15 odd million pounds for him, and I don't think his value would ever surpass 15 million pounds, because he's never going to be more than a 15-20 million pound player, if you know what I mean. I think a lot of people have said this already. But I think Rob Holding, giving him a long-term deal, Yeah, I'm a bit unsure on that one. He is 25 years old. For a centre back, he's got another at least 10 years left on him, probably at least 8, at least 7. So I think Rob Holding, he can do a job for us, and I think under Unai Emery he was much better. Under Mikel Arteta it's been half-half. You know, when he's had Bellerin next to him he's looked even worse. Maybe if he had a proper right back, maybe if he had proper team around him, he'd look much better. But I'm a bit half-hearted on this one. I'd rather sell him and recoup some of the recoup a profit, because we only signed him for £2 million. So leave your thoughts in the comment section down below about Rob Holding and this new contract he has now signed with Arsenal. The next bit of news is on Ryan Christie, a Celtic player playing in the Scottish League, former teammate of Kieran Tierney, and he's got 11 assists this season in all competitions for Celtic, in the Europa League, in the Cups, or in the league. He's got 11 assists, so that's a pretty decent stat for Ryan Christie, and he has been linked to Arsenal today. An exclusive report coming out from the internet that suggested that Ryan Christie is someone Arsenal are looking at in this January transfer window. Obviously, Arsenal have a decent relationship, or they had a decent relationship with Celtic. Raul Sanllehi had links to Celtic. That's how we got the deal done for Kieran Tierney, and he also put in the bid for Odsonne Edouard in the summer, I do think. And obviously now he's left, whether we will go after another Celtic player, how we'll get a deal done in that regard, will be very interesting to see if we do go after Ryan Christie. For me on this one, I'm unsure. Again, I'm unsure on this one. He is an attacking player. If we do look on transfer market, he is going into the last year of his contract, which expires in 2022. His value on transfer market is £6 million. He is 25 years old, and he does play attacking mid. He had 3 goals and 7 assists in the Scottish Premiership, so they're decent stats, to be honest. And he can also play right mid or left mid if we do need him in those positions, and this is the highest value he has been in his career, so he is definitely someone on the up. Now again, would I take him? It depends what the price is, because when I look on transfer market now, his value is around £6 million. If we could do a deal for around £10 million, then I would say why not. He has some decent stats up there in Scotland, and obviously linking up with Kieran Tierney would work well for him. Someone that could guide him in the Premier League, could tell him all about life in the Premier League, and maybe he could be someone, but still I'm unsure. And I think about any player you would be unsure, especially coming from the Scottish Premiership, when they're not like a defender, because when you're a defender in the Scottish Premiership it's always much harder, but when you're an attacking player it's always much easier, because the opposition defenses are much easier to break down, especially when you're playing for one of the top teams like Celtic. Yes, they've been struggling this season, but someone like Christie has stood out for them. £6 million as a value, does that deject me at all? I'm not sure. It's a very tricky one, whether we will actually put a bid in, try and test Celtic's resolve. Knowing Celtic, they'll probably want upwards of £15 million. I don't think that's what he's worth. I think around £10 million is probably what he's worth, looking at his value. Personally, for the right price I would consider taking him. That's probably the stance I will go with for now. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you are from Scotland or you do watch the Scottish Premiership, have you seen much of Ryan Christie? Is he any good, or do his stats tell a bigger story than he actually is? So yeah, leave your thoughts in the comment section down about that one. But we have been linked with Ryan Christie from Celtic, whose value is around £6 million as an attacking mid option for January. Next bit of news is on a player we've been linked with, and it's Roger Ibanez. And apparently Liverpool are facing competition from Arsenal for the £35 million Roma defender Roger Ibanez. According to reports, the Brazilian centre-back has enjoyed a rapid rise after forcing his way into the Roma's first team during the start of the 1920 season, and has now cemented his place as a regular starter. Let's emphasize the word Brazilian. Jurgen Klopp's side, who are currently facing a defensive injury crisis, have been linked with a 22-year-old, but Calcio Mercato report that Arsenal have also inquired about the youngster. What is it with Calcio Mercato linking players or players to Arsenal? It's really weird. Paris Saint-Germain, Leicester and Tottenham and Everton have also said to show an interest in Ibanez, who is valued at £35 million. The defender joined Roma on loan from Atalanta in January, with the deal running until June 2021, meaning clubs will most likely have to wait until the summer to make a move for the defender. Liverpool's need to strengthen is more urgent, with Joel Matip set to be out for 3 weeks after he became the latest defender to pick up an injury. And for Arsenal, they need to strengthen their defensive options. David Luiz, Kodra Mustafi, and their contract expires, and Sead Kolasinac has now left the club. Gabriel, Rob Holding is going to stay. So they probably will look at a right-sided centre-back, as I said, and then reports from the Athletic are suggesting that they might go after a right-sided centre-back. Ibanez, I don't know much about him. He plays in a league in which there are good defenders in there. Will it cut it in the Premier League? I'm not so sure, because this is the first ever time I've heard of this player. If you guys heard of him, leave it in the comment section down below. Would you take him or would you not? £35 million in my opinion. I think it's quite a lot for someone I've never heard of. So yeah, that is the news on Roger Ibanez. He has been linked to Arsenal from Roma. Last bit of news is on Sokratis. We talked about him yesterday as he was closing in on an exit. Now this is becoming even closer. Fenerbahce free deal. Reports from Turkey, especially this one, I can't even pronounce his name, this one journalist is repeatedly saying that a deal is very close between Sokratis and Fenerbahce to take him on a permanent deal for a free transfer. Arsenal, reportedly were going to let him go on a free. Napoli were interested, that the fee agreed, but they just had to get rid of Koulibaly, which they couldn't do. Now Fenerbahce have swooped in and looks like they have finally got their man, and it does look like another deadwood. Sokratis Papastatopoulos, who I did master his name completely in the summer, is finally about to leave the club for Fenerbahce, so that's good news. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.